Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Hello, people, and welcome to Footy Judge Mode. This is your Chelsea show. I promised people to do a show about every club. This is going to be the Chelsea show. We're going to talk about the achievements of Chelsea. Enzo Maresca still in the corner. Is he better than Pochettino? The guys in the background, they're going to be here. We're going to have a great panel for you, as you see on the thumbnail. Big up everybody that is here. Big up everybody that joined us from the Football Terrace. Hit that like button if you just joined us now. Like the video first, and if you're going and enjoying this later, hit that like button before you go on and enjoy. So let me know in the comment section below what you think after the video. We're going to rate that Chelsea players. We're going to try to do tier list. I'm going to have Andrew. We're going to have Ziad. We're going to have Ahmed. We're going to have Charlie. This is going to be a great show for everyone. And I want to hear rivals' opinions as well. Hit that like button if you are here, people. And let's get the panel in. Ziad has to turn his camera on. Ahmed has to turn his camera on. But let's get the people in. Let's enjoy the show together, ladies and gentlemen. Let's enjoy the show. Let's go, people. Here we go. We got Charlie's here. We got Winter Surfer is here. We got the fraud Ziad whose camera's off. We got the fraud Ahmed whose camera is on. No, he's not a fraud. But we know the fraud. How is everyone doing with this? Looking for the weekend, that to jump ahead of ours, not to jump ahead of the rest, huh?
Already ahead of Arsenal, though. Don't worry about that.
All right. All right, people. Big up everybody that's here. Are you here, Ziad? Or you? Oh, Rod, always muted.
I'm here.
You're mute, yeah. You're here. Listen, people. I wanted to do a couple of things about this. There is the talk about Robert Sanchez. There's the talk about Gyökeres or Osimhen in the January transfer window now. I think it's solid links with Osimhen now because I think Chelsea are the closest one. I actually, Lewis, I would have invited you, Lewis, but come on, we'll do another thing with you, Lewis. Pick up everybody that is here. Listen, I actually wanted to start this, and actually let's start this with one thing first. Has Maresca already proven that he's better than Pochettino?
No.
Yes.
It depends how you look at it. Like,
I want people in the chat actually to get involved in this. I want to know, because I know Charlie's opinion. I know the other people's opinion.
I don't know. He's definitely started well, and he's definitely like looking like we've made the right decision. I know there were some doubts in the summer about whether it was the right thing to do or whatever, but I think you could probably say that what he's done in this short space of time has been better than what Poch has done, but I suppose you need to wait until the end of the season to get kind of a definite answer. But he's definitely done a lot of things better than what Pochettino has done for sure.
I think we're on course to get top 4. And Pochettino obviously didn't do that, bro. Pochettino obviously didn't do that, bro.
On current trajectory, you have to say yes. So, I mean, right now he's doing better than what Poch was doing currently. And I think for me, if you just look at it from like the teams that we have faced, and we've pretty much faced the vast majority of the teams that we did last season, and you compare it obviously when we faced them under Poch, I mean, there's no other way to say it. He's done better than what Poch was doing at the time. Bournemouth, obviously away, is a good example of that. We won, for example,
West Ham and Wolves as well.
West Ham and Wolves. So currently, you know, if you look at those sort of teams, you know, Nottingham Forest even, and ironically, yes, I think with Poch we lost 1-0. So he is technically doing against the teams that Poch has obviously the lower teams done much better. Against the better teams, maybe so much, I would say. But other than that, I think, you know, in general, he has done better than Poch so far.
I think what you have to take into effect is how a coach makes you feel about your team. The fact that this time last year I was begging for international breaks and for the weeks not to speed up is a big difference to me. A year apart now, and I dread international weeks. I don't mind doing previews for games now. I dreaded it last season. I didn't want to preview. The reviews were even worse.
We used to pray for these international breaks.
I know what I know what my coach is trying to do. I no idea what Poch was trying to do.
Can I ask you something? You guys don't think that if Poch was here today, you'll be in the same place?
No.
Honestly. You don't think so? You don't think if you offered if Lavia was fit, Fofana's fit,
I don't think it would be the same season.
But
if you gave Pochettino Neto and this particular team, I actually think you'll be disingenuous to say otherwise.
No, he would know.
Second season for Poch,
No.
I think he'll be in the same place, if not better.
No, because he would have injured all those players like he did last season.
That's
So
what
those
Oh
players
my
would play.
God, here we go again with the injury thing.
No, well, look at our injury record this season compared to last season.
Lavia hasn't played 2 games in a row.
Lavia's played nearly 3 or 4 times the games he did this season than he did under Poch.
But I would even argue,
even
if you remove Lavia, right? If you look at all the other players that have been in the squad, there's not been any injuries pretty much, right? Like barring Gusto, who's had that one little thing out, none of our players have been out at all. They've been pretty much
tactically in it.
Sancho's out.
But that's what I said. But
Sancho's had an illness, not an injury.
That's not injury. But this time
last year, man, come on, man.
This time last year, guys, if you're not mistaken, I think like a good half our squad was out. If I'm not mistaken,
we were getting them injury lists like before the games and that.
Exactly.
There was like 2 names after like appearing on the list between every single game. Now,
literally,
look, we had injury problems on the Tuchel as well, but you know the injuries definitely seem to be subsiding, which is a massive plus, and it's definitely obviously helping us having the players available. Yeah, Lavia I think missed 4 or 5 games of a little injury after the Man City game, but generally speaking, he has been available most of the time. And you know, like, yeah, all right, what was his name? Sancho missed Noah and Arsenal with a slight knock. He was ill before that, but in terms of actual like long-term injuries or injury issues, we haven't really had any. And it's been years since we said that.
No, before you just go to what Andrew said, bro.
Before you go to Ziad, bro. Before you just go quickly, Ziad, I think the other thing, this actually helps you in terms of squad chemistry because you have a consistent amount of games with the same amount of players around you. Whereas if Poch, we're literally chopping and changing the defense at times, the midfield at times, we're even getting chopped and changed at times too. So at least we're building some level of functionality in the team compared to I think what would happen.
That is strong, Lewis. But this guy Maresca hasn't beaten any of the top 4 yet.
Yeah,
Lewis was responding to a message further up that Bobby Fairview.
Okay, but he has it like okay.
Yeah, but Mo, it's similar to what Andrew said in terms of what does the manager do to make you feel about the team. Okay,
Pochettino was just
like the guy was just going on with it.
I wouldn't have sat before a ball was kicked this summer and said I back Chelsea to get top 4 ahead of the Villas and Newcastle and Man United.
No,
because me and Ziad did a couple of watch-alongs actually in the summer for the team. And I felt it right away that Chelsea looked better on the pitch, looked more composed, planned. I think the team's good. The problem with me with Chelsea is that I still think in big games, you have not turned up to the same level that I expected this season. City, Arsenal, Liverpool, maybe you had a good half.
No, Liverpool
at the end you lost.
Liverpool was good.
You still lost though. You still lost.
No, we did, but we didn't not turn up though. I think the only one out of them 4 you could say we didn't turn up in was Man United. City the first game
Arsenal.
of the season.
Also, I don't think we turned up against Arsenal.
Arsenal at home.
So we didn't turn
Man
up against
City
Arsenal.
at home.
We were a better team against Arsenal, had the better chances.
We
were a better team against Arsenal.
100% no. What are you talking about? Arsenal literally were closer to the win. What are we lying here?
What are you talking about? What, that last thing at the last minute? You talking about the last minute?
The whole point when I was watching the game, Winter Surfer, I was thinking Arsenal are closer to the win than Chelsea. Are you kidding me?
What chance? Hang on. Apart from that thing at the end, what chances are you talking about that they were close to scoring in? I just want to know.
Arsenal were closer to the goal than Chelsea that game.
No. Listen to what I said. What chances, apart from one at the end, are you?
I don't know. I don't know every chance now, Surfer.
Well, exactly.
I have the feeling now. Don't do this.
We had better chances.
Don't do this.
We weren't good against Arsenal, man. We weren't good against Arsenal.
Put me in a corner,
I'm not saying we were.
I'll tell you right now. There was basically there wasn't a lot of a difference between that United and Arsenal game, and I said it.
Oh my God, Ziad!
There wasn't. I promise you, there wasn't. Individual. No. 1 second. Individual brilliance saved us that game. Neto against Arsenal and Caicedo against Man United.
Yeah,
it's simple as that.
We didn't create apart from the goal of Caicedo. We didn't create anything against United. We created several chances.
Exactly.
What are you talking about?
Okay, we were slightly better. But the point is,
you were better than Man United. No. You were better than Chelsea against Man United. But you definitely weren't better than
I didn't walk out that game, but like, I was happy with that performance.
I disagree.
I wasn't happy with that performance.
We were
You were happy with that performance?
I actually think, listen,
Nah,
I think
man.
for me, but I think the performance against Arsenal was a bit more competitive.
I'll be back 1 minute.
Okay, I'm gonna say that our performance against Arsenal was a bit more competitive. Yes, were we a little bit toothless going forward at 1 or 2 points in the game? Yes, but I think in general we were a lot more competitive with Arsenal than we are against Man United. Man United, guys,
one lucky strike against Arsenal. Bobby
Bro,
Fairview,
you're not-
Bobby
like,
Fairview,
literally-
you're the biggest fraud in this Chelsea fan base.
Oh,
You're just a Maresca hater.
I
You
can't
are-
lie to you, bro.
are fraud.
United was
Bobby
back.
Fairview turns up like a pimple on prom night. Honestly, you are disgusting as a Chelsea fan, Bobby Fairview. You're a fraud. But anyway,
What did he say?
we were better than Arsenal. We had
Ziad,
the
bro,
better
you can't
chances.
say.
No, we weren't that good. I wasn't happy with the Arsenal performance. I'm sorry.
No,
I wasn't.
Ziad, I wasn't
I wasn't
happy.
happy.
Ziad,
Though, is
our
like,
performance
I think-
against United was the worst. Like,
It was, but Arsenal wasn't
What
that
is
good.
a positive, right? Even though we haven't won any
Ziad,
of these,
what are you watching? Seriously.
even though we haven't won any of these big games, right? It's a positive that against United and against Arsenal, we went a goal down both times in the second half and we hit back pretty much within 5 or 10 minutes. That sort of stuff weren't happening last season. We'd have lost both them games going 1-0 down in the second half. So at least there's a bit of fight in the team and there's that belief in the team now that when we go behind, the game's not finished. Like we're still in the game, which is a big change. And yeah, okay, we're still looking for that statement win that we need this season. But like Maresca said after, I think, the Arsenal game, we're not far away from winning a big game, and we will win one of them this season.
We
also-
all agreed, though. It's like we agreed we are not in a title race. We're all agreed, right, on this panel, right? So this whole and this is fine. People can obsess about top 6 performances against other teams should be better, fine. But I really want us to be flat track bullies against the rest of the team.
But you aren't. But you aren't.
That's what I'm talking. That's what I would be concerned at more. That we need to get more points out of the teams that are not in the top.
I actually believe that Chelsea should be now very close to Man City in terms of point. You should not have dropped points to Crystal Palace. You should not have dropped points to freaking. You should, based on what I saw, Chelsea should be at least 4 points ahead of where you are today.
Yes, you're right.
But we're still ahead of where we expected to be anyway at this point in the season. Bro.
Exactly.
Like, I think Andrew makes a good point in terms of like the aim this season, right, is for Chelsea to qualify for the Champions League, win the Conference League, and let's see what we can do in the FA Cup, right? Our record against an Arsenal, a Man City, a Liverpool, and whatnot is not going to define whether we finish top 4 or not. In theory, we could lose both games against City, both games against Liverpool, and we could lose the return game against Arsenal. And as long as we win the majority of the other games, we'll still finish in the top 4. So our record against the bigger teams, whilst it needs to improve, that is not going to define whether we finish 4th or not this season.
Exactly.
What's going to define whether we finish 4th or not is our record against teams like Forest, against your Evertons, against your I can't even think of any other teams right now, but against sort of your mid to lesser teams, your record in those games is going to define whether we finish in the top 4 or not our record against Arsenal, City, and Liverpool.
And
Exactly, and it's for me
the harshest opinion on Maresca is that we need to do better in those type of games because because the second half against Palace was not good enough because the first half we were better than them, but second half we just I don't know what happened in that game.
You were bullied in that second half.
Yeah, exactly right. So we need to against Forest. Forest was. I mean,
we had chances to win.
We were lucky. We were lucky to even probably get a.
Yeah, but you were bullied. Sanchez saved you against Palace in the second half. Do you remember that?
He did. And not Forest.
We had chance with
you should have won the game. But that is the criticism, Charlie. The Crystal Palace game should be out of sight in the first half.
Yeah,
the first game should be out of sight.
Agreed. But on the Forest one, by the way, that obviously it's not good to drop points at home to those sorts of teams. But when I look at it, I come away from that game disappointed we dropped points, but not disappointed in a performance because we created the chances to win. We just didn't take them. So when I'm looking at a game, I'm looking at, okay, so did we create chances to win it? Did we do enough to win the game? If we've done enough to win the game, we just didn't take our chances. You can feel more positive about it than if you've dropped points in a game and you think
the game is 90 minutes, Charlie. The game is 90 minutes, Charlie. It's not 45 minutes.
No, I know,
Charlie, your coach literally in the second half got bullied. Again, it's because he did a very good plan in the first half.
Yeah, the Palace game was poor.
And even the first game was not good.
Bro, Sanchez literally done a Baldy of a save like 3 times to save.
I feel like we're missing.
And that's what I hold the whole point. That's the whole point of we sit here and praise Maresca. I want to see if I'm a Chelsea fan, I sit here and say, Yes, you made me feel better about the team. Yes, I see
Yeah.
Lavia playing well. But at the end, if you don't achieve the target, you lost to Newcastle 2-0.
Yeah.
But you could have won that game. That's a cup out of the window now, a trophy that is achievable out of the window.
Yeah.
You can have all these feelings about a great feeling. That's that's Arsenal's thing, right? With all the respect for all Arsenal fans, we feel so good about the team. We look very good. We love the team. Well, I'm sorry. You should have had 4 points ahead of where you are today.
Yeah. That's why I don't like the term. I don't like the term. Oh, like you put. I know you put a question mark on it. Are Chelsea back? I don't consider us back until I see results. Do you know what I mean? There's no point feeling like, oh, we played better football this season if our targets aren't met. Do you know what I mean? There's no point at all. That's why when people, oh, we're back after 2 games, it's like, no, we need to see this consistently. That's why these next 6 league games we've got coming up, we should be, all of us here going, I need to see maximum points out of all of them. Or near enough.
A super chat here that is related to what Andrew's saying, but Hamada, you're a Chelsea fan, Hamada. I get it. Chelsea are building a team. Nobody wants to play against. Don't be surprised later up the Chelsea. I know it looks fantastic, you know, when you put it this way.
Cool, man.
It looks great, you know what I mean? Oh, no one wants to play against us. Andrew said it. The results need to be there.
Yeah, of course. But the result, but I don't think any of us sitting here right now can say that we're that surprised, maybe other than Crystal Palace game, right? That we're surprised at any of the results that we've actually got in the league so far this season.
Arsenal?
What, surprised that we got a point? I don't think that's a surprising result. I didn't think we'd win it. I didn't think we'd win at Old Trafford. I didn't think, as much as I would love to have beaten Arsenal, I didn't really honestly believe that, we've got a really good chance. I thought we had an opportunity, but I don't think when you're looking at those games and you see us drop points, like draw at Man United and draw at Arsenal, and think that's a surprising result. I don't see it that way. I think
Newcastle maybe in the cup.
Newcastle in the cup was disappointed. Yeah, I absolutely agree on that one.
That's a howler, man. But I'm not over that, by the way. I'm not over that.
But having said that,
Ziad was so freaking pissed at the Newcastle
is not the worst thing. Like, it happens, right? It's a tough place to go. It's not the fact that we lost. It's the fact that we seemingly just put a team out that suggested we're not asked about this competition. That was the annoying thing about it for me.
That's a mockery, man.
I don't think it's more.
I don't know why anyone was surprised by that lineup.
But the thing is, like, we know there's going to be a lineup A and lineup B. I just think the problem was, at least in my opinion, the Newcastle game.
Besides the result,
it was really just like, I just think the way the attitude that we came into that game, I think that was the issue. We were way too laissez-faire, whereas Newcastle were really onto us. Like, they were looking to actually get that win to kind of like help them kick on. That was the difference, I think, for me, and that's why they.
Yeah, it was a disappointing performance and result. We should exactly.
I think when we look at the Crystal Palace performance, right? Yes, we should have gotten 3 points, but at the same time, I think that was our 3rd or 4th game in the season. I thought
Madueke missed like a 1 or 2 really good chances in that game.
He missed 1 or 2 good chances. Yeah. I was also going to mention Jackson in the in the 90th minute of extra time missed 2 big chances that could have actually made us win the game at the same time at the Crystal Palace game, if I'm not mistaken too. So, like, I feel like sometimes we are a bit too critical in that aspect. Same with Nottingham Forest. Before they had that big chance towards the end of the game, we had a Felix who missed a header that was on target, and I think what's it called? Nkunku missed another chance, right? So again, like, this is what I sometimes say. It's we're getting there, we're getting close. It's just about us being a bit more clinical up front, which I would expect our team to be eventually. It's also about getting into gear. You know what I mean? So I would like to think that they are a bit more into gear. And that's why, obviously, they're facing Leicester. We've got like a really easy upcoming fixture. I'm expecting us to be winning all these games. I'll be real.
To be honest, that Leicester game, I was thinking, sorry, Charlie, I was thinking about big up Papa Beard, big up Habibis. Thank you so much. Papa Beard is a Chelsea fan, of course, one of our massive viewers. He tells Ziad to speak up more. I speak to Ziad all the time. Ziad speaks a lot.
I'm here, man.
He's just on al-ahwa. He can't deal with bigger personalities like myself and the others on al-ahwa. He just can't deal with that. He just can't deal with these people. You know what I mean? He just can't.
Man. Crumble on the
you crumble. But big up Papa Beer. Thank you so much for super chat. Guys, get your opinions in. Guys, we have about 400 people here. Hit that like button, people, if you joined us. All these guys' channels are in the description. The Bridge Nation, Ziad's Zone, of course, and Charlie's channel, CFC, Blue Brother CFC, of course, in the description. Of course, he just did a show earlier. and Ziad's going to do a show later, and Ahmed's going to do a show later as well. So, guys, hit that like button. Let's get to 200 likes live, guys. That's a challenge for you. Let's get to 200 likes live. Help the channel by that. And also, if you're new, subscribe, people. Really want to get to 27,300 soon. Very close, though. Very, very close, people. Go ahead, Charlie. Sorry.
I was going to say, like, for me right now, right, you look at these run of games coming up, and you could argue between now and the end of January when we face Man City, there's no easy games in the Premier League, right? But this is a favourable run of fixtures in which we should be picking up a sizable amount of points. We're still third, right? We are, having said that, difficult fixtures, but we are 1 win from our last 5 Premier League games. So it goes to show that we're not, I don't say we're lucky to be third, but it goes to show that other teams' inconsistencies has contributed slightly to where we are in the table. But I'm looking at this next run of games now and thinking this is now our opportunity to cement that position in the top 4 and start to put a bit of distance between ourselves and the other teams. There's still 4 points between 3rd and 13th. We need to get 5-6 wins on the board in the next sort of 7 or 8 games or whatever it is, and really consolidate ourselves in the top 4 positions. I mean, you look at the fixtures and you can think, right, okay, it might not define us finishing top 4, but if it goes well, it gives us a massive chance. But I tell you what, we can certainly be out of it if we don't do well in these next fixtures in the run up to Christmas and throughout January. So this for me is like now where we've really got to see what we're about. We've got to show that we can win 4, 5, 6 games on the spin and get these points on the board.
100%.
I agree with you, but in the same time, I'm looking at the fixtures that are coming.
No, come on. We should the next 3, right? Leicester away on Saturday. I
said Villa
away. That should be 3. That should be 9 points.
Villa, Charlie. Villa.
Yeah,
we've been at home.
You must beat Villa.
We must beat Villa. Yeah,
Ahmed, you did shows for years now.
I agree with you. I actually just say,
but you can't just say Villa at home we beat. You have to go and beat them.
We have to beat them. Yeah, we do need to
decent record at home against them in the Premier League overall. So we should do that. Ironically, the next 6 games, the only 2 games I'm actually worried about due to records is, ironically, people are going to go mad when I say this, is Brentford at home, which we've never beaten them in the Premier League since they rang up. And if you look at our record, you want to talk about records like going away at Newcastle, look at our record at Everton away.
Record at Goodison.
Our record away at Everton.
My goodness.
We've got up there with our very best teams and come away with sometimes nothing.
Our last win was with Tuchel, wasn't it? I think, yeah.
Spurs the way is the game that I'm looking at.
I'm not
accepting anything.
We do generally beat Spurs.
Yeah, that's Spurs away.
We own them.
On, man. Yeah,
we own them.
We own them. 3-point lane. Come on, man.
Remember last season, Mo, when Spurs were top of the league?
He got 2 red cards. He got 2 red cards.
Yeah, but that's
even without the red cards, we usually beat them. We
usually beat them.
We'll see.
That's the big one, because the big games are kind of out of the way for a while. You got to win these games because 1 win in 5 is not good enough. I'm sorry, as much as people love to say we're third and whatnot, we're also like 3 points, 4 points off 10th. Like, this is the weirdest start to the season I've seen in a while.
Yeah.
Like, apart from Liverpool, no one else is catching up wins, or no one is collecting 3 points in a row or being consistent. It's the weirdest start to the season I've seen. But it just at the end of the day, you got to think about, are we on target to achieve what we want to achieve?
Yeah,
we're getting there.
We are getting it. But look, the 1 win in 5 is not great. But I mean, it depends how you look at it. It's 1 win in 5, but it's also only 1 loss. So it's not like we're losing games. It's the draws that are proving costly. And, over the course of a season, the draws are probably more damaging than defeats in terms of, like, you know, do you know what I mean? Like, obviously you're not advocating for losing games, but, you'd rather lose and win than 2 draws. You're going to get more points. So if we can turn some of them draws into wins, then that's going to set us on a good point as well.
I'm looking at the team, and do you know what the problem with Chelsea is? That I think he's still light. If the reports are right and Caicedo and Lavia are injured, it's a big trouble for you, to be honest. It's big trouble. I think you're light still. However, Maresca finds solution.
No, Caicedo's not injured. Him and Enzo are going to be returning late. Well, they'll be back like tomorrow for training. Exactly. It just depends what condition they're in after them South American games, but. Obviously, Lavia, we haven't heard anything from Chelsea about what's up with him. And then I don't know if Enzo and Caicedo are both going to start on Saturday or not.
I'd imagine one of them will start.
The problem is it's an early game, so the people that come from South America normally they don't start these games on Saturday.
One of them will start though. One of them will.
One of them will definitely start. One
of them. I'll be surprised if it was both of them. To be honest, I wouldn't even be surprised if Dewsbury Hall started on Saturday. I'll be real.
Maybe Carney's alive as well.
Caicedo's
Chukwuemeka's alive, or I don't know if that guy's alive, or I don't know what happened.
Caicedo,
you know, he was a very good player, Chukwuemeka. I don't know what happened to him. I actually don't know.
Chukwuemeka's not a 6 though, so like I don't know how you're gonna play Chukwuemeka in the 6.
You're not. You could do it in a Conference League, but
that's what I'm saying. In the EPL, you can't play him there because that's probably where you.
That's why Ogo Chukwu. I rated that guy. I don't know why. He can't even get a game, bro.
Ironically,
he hasn't. He can't get a game.
Should have got Southampton, in my personal opinion, but hey, you know,
I think they'll play one of them, and then obviously we got the Europa Conference League game.
Okay, I want to move on to the other topics about the Nkunkus, the Maduekes, the Netos, Sanchos, and all the people that don't start at Chelsea. Number one, how do you guys like when you heard the news about Nkunku wanting to go? Anybody who's worried about that at all?
Don't blame him.
No, it's not. I wouldn't say it's worried. I think it's probably reports that a lot of Chelsea fans probably expected. You know, this is a top quality footballer who is not getting that many minutes. Has started one Premier League game this season. That was the first game of the season. You know, when he signed, we were all excited for him. We all thought he was going to be the main man. Obviously, injuries have, you know, slightly switched things up a little bit. I do believe that Maresca should be giving him more minutes from the bench. I think it's disrespectful to be giving him sort of 5 and 10 minutes here and there in the league, expecting him to do something. But yeah, it's not a surprise that those reports have come out. You know, he's back in the France setup, and you know he's got to be looking at the World Cup in 2026 and thinking, if I stay next season and Chelsea sign a striker in the summer, where are my minutes going to come from? So he's going to have to be thinking about that as well. And I don't look at it as a surprise. And Nkunku's still important, by the way, this season. Very important, because we're one Jackson injury away from being so reliant on Nkunku.
Can I ask you something, Charlie? Don't you think he's better than Jackson?
It depends what you're looking at, Mo. Is he a better footballer in terms of quality?
He's better in everything.
No, he's not though, Mo.
In what? What aspect?
This is why he doesn't play. This is why he doesn't play, right? If you're talking about quality, right? I don't think any of us can sit here and say that Nkunku is not a better footballer than Nicholas Jackson. But for how Chelsea want to play and for what Jackson brings to the team, Jackson is better than Nkunku for what.
In what aspect? In what?
Hold up play, link up play. Okay, the way that he runs channels, runs in behind defenders, the way that he holds the ball up on the turn. Nkunku, for me, right? If you're a centre half, you'd rather play against Nkunku because the game's in front of you. Whereas with Jackson, you know, he's making them runs in behind. You know, he's pulling defenders out of position. Nkunku's finishing is better. That's not a debate. But the other things,
passing ability is better than him, than Jackson.
But the problem is better than Jackson. But you know, Mo, I would just argue
to the team, Mo. He's not bringing enough to the team.
I like Jackson, right? But I think if Nkunku was given the same opportunity and the patience that Jackson was given last season, I think you'd get more out of Nkunku than you would get more out of Jackson. Just based on the ability and based on what I've seen. The history says that.
I'm not gonna lie. Everything Charlie mentioned, I'm gonna be honest, is last season Jackson. Because I haven't seen that Jackson for a while. Probably since the West Ham game. I haven't seen the same Jackson. He's not the same Jackson as he was at the start of the season or last season. It's not the guys that I forget the guys playing now.
No, before I address your points here, I just think everything that you're saying, Mo, is again something that we saw at RB Leipzig, obviously under Nkunku. But that's where he works best. But again, he works best as secondary striker. That's why he should be realistically be played in that 10 role with Jackson. He should be actually playing with a number 9.
He should be, but we shouldn't have signed Felix then, because signing Felix is causing Nkunku a problem as well, because Nkunku should be that rotation option with Cole Palmer, except 100%. He's not now because we signed Felix, and now Nkunku has to be a rotation option as a 9, and Maresca has already himself said that Nkunku is not a 9. He's come out and said he's basically misprofiling Nkunku because that's the only way he can get him in the team.
He misprofiled Neto, he misprofiled Nkunku, he misprofiled a lot of people, but fine.
And one thing I will add,
he's misprofiling Enzo Fernandez, he's misprofiling a lot of people, but fine. We're just gonna let it pass.
That's a lot.
But the thing is, like,
you're gonna just say, we're gonna let it slide.
I don't really think he's.
I don't like the way we're playing now. Anyway.
He's misprofiling. What's his name, Malagusto, and inverting and playing in that 10 role. He's misprofiling a lot of people. Just to be honest, Me and Ziad had this
I
conversation.
think
by
he's
the way.
misprofiling Palmer.
I disagree.
Palmer.
I disagree with that point, Mo. I just
Nah,
think
man.
Can you tell me where I'm wrong, Ahmed? Where I'm wrong?
He's
Where I'm wrong?
misprofiling Palmer as well. Our best player.
So you obviously talked about misprofiling Neto. Neto can play on that. Neto can play on the left position, and the reason why we're playing him there is because we need him to play there. Because on the right hand side, yes, he wants to play Madueke a bit more there. That's a managerial decision, but he's not profiling Neto wrong there. He's Felix. He wants him to play. He can play in the 10 role. That's where he can play. That's not misprofiling Felix, is it? So again, Matt Nkunku, can he play as a false 9? He did that at RB Leipzig. That's not again misprofiling the player. So you see what I mean?
The point is, why did he? What, bro? You have to change.
I think for me, Mo, the argument you could make about Gusto is an interest. No, let me finish. Yeah, the argument you can make about Gusto, I think that's a fair point. But I only think maybe he's trying to mold the player.
Bro, it's misprofiling Reece James, broski.
Listen,
I don't think any of us can sit here.
By the way, I'm not saying that Maresca's bad coach. He's a very good coach.
Just quickly,
I think he's using the players wrong in some areas.
I don't think any of us can sit here, right, and say that Nkunku should be starting games ahead of Jackson. Maybe the last couple where Jackson has not been as effective, you could make the point that Nkunku should have come on earlier, absolutely. But I don't think we can sit here and really say, based on what we've seen from Nkunku this season, that he should be starting Premier League games ahead of Jackson.
Oh, come on.
I disagree.
One second. This guy's been rubbish for how long, man? I'm sorry. I don't like this. Charlie, let's be real, Charlie. Arsenal game, I forgot he was playing. Man United, I forgot he was playing.
But is that
not overreaction over 2 games, right, Ziad? You wouldn't do that.
No. I actually, before we go, guys, I actually want to say,
Jesus.
I think Jackson might be playing.
On you, bro.
I think Jackson might be playing a little bit differently compared to what he usually does. Like I've noticed a lot more.
Yeah, because he's not touching the ball.
No, because
he's
some
not
of
getting
these
any
games.
service.
Yeah, but how many times have we seen last season he demands a service? He don't demand it anymore. The guy just.
But I actually don't think it's been since even since Nottingham Forest where he doesn't seem to be coming deep anymore to get the ball and do the link up play anymore. He seems to be almost playing as like an in behind striker now. I actually think it's a bit more of a tactical decision with Jackson where he's not doing the stuff that he's good at and he's been asked to be a different type of striker for the team. That's what I think has actually changed for us. I think that's what's actually happened.
Listen, the main issue I have is the number one thing that is the substitutions. I'm sorry, bringing on Nkunku on for like basically 3 minutes is useless. Yeah. That's embarrassing. And it happened again with Reece James against Arsenal. His substitutions are rubbish. Okay, it's bad. But it's also the way we are playing. We are not playing the same football we played at the start of the season.
By the way.
No. It's annoying because we're not playing the same football that we played against West Ham or Crystal Palace or Wolves away. We're playing completely different football.
Or Brighton.
It's not the same. Or Brighton. None of it. It's completely changed. Our best player, Cole Palmer, is completely got a different role. And me and Charlie spoke about this in terms of Enzo plays better or Palmer plays better with Enzo. And Enzo plays better when he's a bit further forward with Palmer so far this season. He changed it completely. Palmer is going, I don't know where. He's going on the bloody halfway line to collect the ball, and then he has to try attack. He's trying to give him the Hazard role. Hazard's basically collect deep, dribble for the whole team, and assist or score. Palmer's not going to be able to do that.
Ziad, can I ask you a question?
Maresca's completely changed the way we're playing.
I'm going to ask you a question. Ziad, I'm going to ask you a question, yeah?
Let's put it into...
No, it is. No, it is.
Ziad, question.
We were scoring 6-7 goals, man. What happened to that team?
Answer my question, Ziad.
It's nothing to do with the teams we're playing,
Enzo is...
Wolves away, so we can all of a sudden
play Enzo, Ziad, what happens when you play
Wolves and Liverpool away at the same time.
What happens to... Ziad, what happens to a team when you play Enzo Fernandez defensively? I'm going to ask you that question.
Yeah, but guys, Ahmed, we knew that at the start, bro. We knew at the start.
No.
We knew that at the start.
Answer the question. Answer the question.
The prime example is Wolves. The prime example is Wolves away.
What happens?
The prime example is Wolves away. Defensively was not as good, but guess what? We can score bloody 6 goals. And that's the prime example.
Ziad, okay, Ziad, so you just said that, right? So again, so let's do
6
that,
goals,
yeah?
mate.
Do you see what happened to us when
Inter came
on
after the ignore everything.
No. Listen, quite simply, when when Enzo came in on Arsenal and after assist, what happened after? Arsenal literally for like the rest of the game were essentially able to just be onto us completely, cutting us through, yeah, for like towards the end of that game, the last 20 minutes with Enzo on the field. Like, let's be honest, yeah, like there is some level of like there has to be some level, yeah, of what's it called, balance. We can't do that against the bigger teams. Having
No, of course not. But the thing is, it's not like
because
we've done it against every team, except we've done it for every single team recently. It doesn't matter.
we didn't do that against United. We didn't do that against
Whoa. United Pommel's basically touching the halfway line.
Yeah, I think it's fair to say, right, whether it's a coincidence or not, that yes, you can say that the level of opposition is different as well, and that's definitely a factor. But since he's brought Lavia into the team, and I think we can all agree we've got more defensive stability, and the team is probably better balanced overall. By doing that and dropping Enzo Fernandez out, you have sacrificed creativity. So it's not a surprise to me that in the games that we've played, and yes, they've been more difficult opposition, but since Lavia's come in, we have created less chances in games and we've scored less goals. Now, of course, part of that is down to the level of opposition being better, but also part of it for me is down to not having that creativity in the midfield that Enzo does bring. Now, when you play Lavia and Caicedo together, it negates the need to invert a fullback into midfield because they're both capable of covering the ground. So when Enzo plays in midfield, he's not as athletic, so you invert Cucurella in there for the extra man to cover the space where Enzo doesn't cover. So if you're going to play Lavia and Caicedo, right, what I'm thinking is you don't need a fullback in that number 10 slot. Allow Cole Palmer to take up those positions, which he'd be much better at taking up. And with Gusto taking up them positions, you're then not allowing Palmer to roam in that space where he could be very effective. So for me, if you're going to play Lavia and Caicedo, let's knock this inverting the fullback in the 10 position on the head, and let's allow Palmer to drift in there. Let's allow maybe one of the wingers to drift infield slightly to pick up them positions. And I think that might help us a little bit better. But I think, Enzo not being on the pitch, I think, and the fullback inverting into the 10 place, into the 10 role, has affected Palmer's performances because he's not getting on the ball anywhere near as enough.
The thing is, Charles, as well, like on paper, when you look at it, Lavia and Caicedo start together, you would think Palmer would have less responsibility defensively and less responsibility to actually come, collect the ball in the halfway line and try drive with it or whatnot. But it's the complete opposite. When he's playing with Enzo, who's not as good as Caicedo or Lavia defensively, he's got way more freedom than when he's playing with Lavia or Caicedo. So this is what I'm not trying to understand. And maybe Maresca needs to figure out this opposition thing. Listen, at the end of the day, we haven't done it in ages. We haven't been playing banging teams week in, week out. The point is the game we were playing when Palmer and Madueke were linking up every single moment, when we were going amazing on the counter attack, bloody chance after chance, scoring 4-5 goals like it was for fun. Okay, even though we don't have to score 4 goals every game. Okay, but the level of creation has gone completely down. And the way Palmer's being used, who's our best player, it's gone down. And that's why you got frauds like Mo saying he's not a big game player. Or where is he? Or
I think part of I was
have some shame and respect yourself, you bro.
Yeah, Maresca is making these guys.
Sheikh Hassan Nima saying, stop hating Ziad. As a Chelsea fan, we should respect Inter. Because apart from us, they're the only team that beat Pep Barcelona. Every other team got battered.
When have I mentioned it to Milan?
You're hating on me, you fraud. You're on my channel, you fraud.
The guy said the chat 20 minutes ago. I didn't mention it.
You're hating on me for some reason. I don't know why.
I didn't mention it to Milan.
Guys, let's get to 200 likes, people. Hit that like button.
I think you said Inter Man was rubbish when Mo went off screen. I think I heard you say that.
Yeah, I heard that too. Yeah.
Did you say that, you fraud?
I actually don't remember. Maybe I said that. I don't know.
Bro, we don't even sit on the.
Get into Milan now. What is the rubbish club, man?
Bro, we don't sit even on the same table. You never had a Ballon d'Or winner in your life. You never won a treble and you never win.
We had Shevchenko. What are you talking about? We've had Shevchenko before. Hey, come on.
He didn't win the Ballon d'Or when he was
literally our failure of a player.
Our
failure of a player. Billy Gilmore's come to your league and is about to win the league. Have some shame. What is your league, man?
Antonio Conte,
Chelsea reject.
Dominated the Premier League, of course.
Yeah, and now Chelsea.
Palmer should have been subbed in halftime, subbed off against Man United and Arsenal. Sometimes you have to admit that Palmer is not working in a game and getting Nkunku or someone.
Yeah, that's fair. But also, what I think, I mean, me and Ziad have spoke about this before as well, right? Is that if Palmer is ineffective in a game, one, it's okay to sub him at like 60 or 70 minutes, but also it's all right. Let's try something different. Let's take Madueke off or take a winger off. Let's put Palmer on the right-hand side, bring in Nkunku into the 10, and let's try something different. Let's see if that gets something out of Palmer. I think like Maresca and also Palmer himself, we've got to find ways in games that Palmer's not effective try something different to try and get more out of him. Don't just throw the towel in and take him off and accept defeat. Let's put him out wide. Let's bring in Nkunku into the 10 and let's try something different. We need to be trying different ideas to get more out of Palmer.
All of a sudden, it's illegal to play Palmer at the right winger.
But my issue with that is then again we're going back to something under Poch where it's overall reliance on Palmer. We should again. There's other.
No, it's not. What are you talking about?
The reason why I'm saying that is because, like you're saying, obviously we need to unlock Palmer, but guys, it's not just Palmer that's available for us as an attacking option on the team. There's still a striker that's still in the team in Jackson. There's still Neto. There's still Madueke that might be signed, or even Sancho. So we should not necessarily be our reliance on one player for us to be consistently unlocking to provide more for us.
It's the whole team.
Charlie just said that.
What Charlie's mentioning Palmer is the whole team.
Charlie just said that we can take Palmer off and rely on others. That's what Charlie's saying.
But look, there's both of them, right? We can take him off, but there's also, I would like to see us try put him on the right and just try something different. You know, like I'm not saying he has to play on the right every single week. Let's just put him on the right in a game. He doesn't have to start necessarily. He can switch it up second half. Put in Nkunku or Felix in the 10 and just try something a bit different when he's being, you know, when he's not been as effective in a game. That's the only thing. Even Noni
hasn't performed since Palmer has gone completely on the other side of him, or not as close as he was with him at the start of the season. It's the whole. It's not just.
I would actually argue with Madueke. I don't think it's to do with Palmer.
No, but also with I think you touched on it earlier, right? With the Madueke link up, right, which was really good at the beginning of the season. You notice, right, particularly against Man United, by the way, when Gusto was picking up in that 10 role and he was trying to link up with Madueke, how poor some of his passes were. Like Palmer should be in that position, having that link up with Madueke. That's why I don't like the fullback inverting into the 10 role, because whilst Gusto understands the role from a tactical perspective, he doesn't have the quality on the ball to perform it when he gets in those areas. So if you're going to do that, for me, when Reece James is fit and capable, you get Reece James doing that because he's the fullback with the most attacking quality on the ball. But if you haven't got the fullbacks like a Cucurella or Gusto with the attacking quality on the ball, let's forget inverting those guys into that 10 role, because their quality on the ball in the attacking third isn't suddenly going to improve overnight. That takes a lot of work to fix that. So for me, it's either Reece James there, or you don't invert the fullback at all into midfield, into the 10 role, and you allow the attackers to pick up them positions.
And I think maybe Leicester might be a good opportunity if both Enzo and Caicedo can't start. Just start Caicedo, play maybe Caicedo, and start Enzo and then play Caicedo or something a bit deeper. If Lavia's not able to, play Caicedo. He knows Leicester. It's fine. Okay, and that's it. And then you play Enzo a bit more further forward, and you get the team that we were playing against Wolves and Brighton, and we score some bloody goals, and the face has improved. Can the bloody help them?
You could also do something, right, where if Lavia's not fit and he only starts one of Enzo or Caicedo, you could potentially, I'm not saying he would, but you could try Caicedo on his own in midfield, Cucurella inverts in alongside him, and maybe you play two number 10s. Maybe you play. Remember when Maresca talked about before one game where he said, soon he might try Felix and Palmer playing together. Maybe you could see Caicedo on his own in midfield, Cucurella inverts in, and you play Felix and Palmer as 10s, Neto and Madueke wide or whatever, and Jackson for the middle or something along those. I don't know, it's very attacking, but there's options there.
Our team was very attacking at the start of the season, Charlie.
Yeah, no, it was.
I don't know why everyone's acting like, oh my God, we've got too many attackers. At the start of the season, our team, when we were playing our best football, was quite attacking. Very attacking, actually.
He does all one thing. One thing Maresca always mentions though is balance. And when he gets asked these questions about like the attacking players on the pitch, he always goes on about balance, which I think is why he doesn't play like loads of them together.
Good Lord, 2 games he had. Bloody hell! You need to get better. You need to get better with yourself.
It was the start of the season. It was the whole start of the season.
Honestly,
no, this is based on Manchester United and Arsenal performances, not of the rest of the season. This is
Palmer. This is Palmer. Palmer's been useless for how long now? No, Palmer's not been good. Palmer's not been good recently.
Palmer's not been good. I know Palmer's not been good, but the whole thing about we were playing attacking football at the start of the season. This is just based on 2 games.
It's going on, bro.
No, man.
I feel like you need to understand. We're not
hold up. Even if we beat Arsenal and we beat Man United, it doesn't change Palmer's performance. It really doesn't change it.
No, I'm talking about your overall feeling about Chelsea right now is just based on 2 previous.
No, it's based on how we played at the start of the season and based on how we're playing right now. It's not good enough. I'm not a fan of it. I want our attack. We've got good enough players. It's not, bro. Felix is too good to be playing 0 minutes, and Nkunku is too good to be playing 0 minutes. Felix is not shit. Respect
He's
Felix.
crap.
Bro.
Felix
No,
is
respect Felix. I'm
Hold on,
sorry.
you really? Hold on. Hold
I
on.
can't believe
Hold
that.
on. You want to freaking bench Cole Palmer to play Joao Felix?
No one's saying bet, but I'm just saying, our start of the season, we were playing better football and more attacking football. And right now, even with Andrew saying 2 games.
So what do you think the solution is? What do you think the solution is?
I think you drop Caicedo, one of Caicedo or Lavia for Enzo.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. You see what I'm talking about, people? It's 2 games. That's all it is. 2 games.
What do you mean 2 games? It's the start of the bloody season.
Name me 5 games. Name me 5 games. Name me 5 games.
I'm gonna name you the games right now. What?
Name me 5 league games Enzo's been good in this year. Name me 5 league games he's been good in this year.
I'm gonna name you the games right now.
Whilst you guys are looking for that, I think we also need to allow the players to develop too. Sometimes, obviously, we are going to be a little bit
Fernandez, you know.
I think we also need to allow.
All of a sudden, Fernandez is a bad player. What the hell, man?
He's not good. He's not good enough for the Premier League.
Yeah, really look through the score thing. Yeah,
this is the same guy who rates Sanchez, by the way.
One second.
Okay,
hold up. Move away.
Look at the look on Charlie's face, bro.
Look at that.
He's like, what is going on here?
Look at that. 6-2.
Can we not do this here on the channel?
Is that his second half or his first half performance?
No, I'm not. I'm talking about the whole team.
No, is that his second half or his first half when he was rubbish in the first half?
No, we won 6-2. Thank you very much.
Doesn't matter. He was rubbish in the first half.
I promise you, he's not doing this for content.
What do you mean?
I promise you this.
This is natural
Papa
idiocy.
Beard is like surely Ziad. He's definitely. I promise you, Papa Beard. He's not saying this.
Okay, man. Know what? For everyone in the chat, everyone here, let's just continue the way we're playing. Okay, Palmer basically non-existent. Jackson basically non-existent. Madueke is rubbish. Let's just continue. Let's just continue for Neto to be carrying our attack for game after game after game. Let's continue. 2 games, okay? No problem. Start the exact same team that we started against Arsenal, Man United, and let me see if we see any changes. Let's see.
You see, even Bobby Fairview, who I disagree with vehemently, is saying what you said about Enzo Caicedo is too far. If he's saying that, you need to look at yourself.
I said Lavia.
No, it doesn't matter. What you just
said in certain games. I'm not saying you're doing it every game. I'm not saying
Enzo Fernandez is not. Enzo Fernandez is not good enough for the Premier League. He is not
rubbish,
good enough.
That's rubbish.
He's rubbish.
That's rubbish.
When it comes to it, he needs to be in a midfield that's filled with 10 players to be good enough.
That's rubbish, man. That's rubbish.
He is poor.
Let me tell you, I'm gonna give you guys a warning, okay? Well, how many people we've got in here? 500, 400? How many people we've got?
Give us a warning.
Something.
What are you doing?
Warning? Listen, no, I'll give you a warning. I'm gonna give you a warning, okay? I'm gonna give you a warning. Everyone, first of all, this is a live warning. Set your alarm. This is a live warning, okay? Live warning. Donald Trump said. Yeah, I'm about to shut down the whole of UK, bro. This is about to be another lockdown, okay? This is about to be another lockdown. Let me tell you something, okay? Right now, let's continue the way we're playing right now, and let's see how it gets us. Let's see where it gets us. Palmer being rubbish, Madueke being rubbish, Jackson being rubbish, and Neto being our only good attacker. Let's continue that way. No problem. Let's continue that way.
So listen, all right. So Ziad
is off 2 games, not the.
I don't totally agree with you.
You know, guys, I've never seen this side.
I don't totally agree with me.
Solely off of 2 games.
Oh, you are being rubbish.
This is based off 2 games, people, against Arsenal, Manchester United. This is all that Ziad's opinion is based on.
That's not true, though, because Palmer was really non-existent against Liverpool. And Curtis Jones literally scored a goal and won a penalty and won them the game. And marked him at the same time. So he's not actually wrong. He's not wrong.
Ziad was not saying this after Liverpool or Newcastle.
He's not. No. Forget.
More sample size. If I told you after Liverpool, you would have told me 1 game.
The reality is, Palmer has been lately not been himself lately. That's the reality. And there has to be a reason for it, right? And it's not 1 or 2 games.
But what I'm saying is, this is an overreaction from Ziad for 2 games.
It might be.
Overreaction.
There's a difference, right, between a player playing really badly and a player just not being in the game. Like, if Palmer's not in the game, it doesn't mean that he's playing shit. It means that
tactical problem, Charlie. That's a tactical problem. 100%.
But it doesn't mean that he's played bad. This is my point, right? When people, I'm not saying Ziad's saying this, but when people say, "Oh, Palmer is in a big game," or he's crap in the big games, right? Do you know what? Just because you've been marked out of a game or a team have tactically done a job on you, it doesn't mean that you played badly. It just means that you didn't have any solutions to what the opposition done. So when we look at Palmer in these games, right? Was he crap against Liverpool? I don't think he was crap against Liverpool. He was ineffective, but was he shit? I don't think he was shit. He just wasn't involved in the game.
He was
wasn't
very
involved.
very bad against Man United. He was very bad because they didn't mark him at all against Man United. He was very bad against Man United.
United was...
he did his thing, but and Arsenal, he had that one shot, and then, like I said, that would be, if you want to have a concern, that would be about him playing too much on the left when he's obviously better on the right. That's a concern that needs to be addressed. But it's overinflated, like somehow, I don't know, Ziad, I don't know if you had a bump on the head, you've eaten too many kiwis or something like that, but this is realistic. This is
No,
like
I'm gonna tell you something.
No, man, I'm not having it. I'm not having it.
I'm gonna tell you something, Surfer. Because on the Lahwa, it's all about the banter, and this is the reality. Lahwa is fun show.
Yeah.
Ziad doesn't get the time to actually express his views. But in many games, after the Man United game, he kept saying on Lahwa, we were rubbish. After Arsenal, he kept telling us, I'm not happy. We should have done better. I'm not happy about the performance. After Liverpool, he said, why did we lose the game? We should not have lost the game. And it wasn't only about the decisions. I think now you're seeing how he actually feels about the way the team has started very well, and then it faded away somehow in the last a month or so. It's not. By the way, guys, I'm gonna say something. This is a Chelsea show, and it's not my show, and I'm here the host. I actually checked some of the stats of the games. Your stats went down significantly over the past 5 games. Significantly.
Well, look who we've played, Mo. That does have a bearing. That does have a bearing, the level of opposition you're playing. Last 5 games, what? Liverpool, Newcastle, Man United, Arsenal. I mean, I have Nottingham Forest as well in there, right? But you look at the games, right? So naturally, there is going to be a drop-off when the level of opposition improves. But are we surprised that there's also been a drop-off? This is 4 months into a rookie manager and a new team. There's going to be fluctuations in the team. So I understand that there might be a few little concerns creeping in, but to not expect any fluctuations in performance and some underlying metrics and whatnot dropping off, I think that would be disingenuous to think that wouldn't be the case with a very young team and a new team with a rookie manager in charge still.
Yeah, I want to add this quickly to Charlie's point, that I think we also need to realize, guys, if Maresca is trying stuff, there's also going to be a little bit of time where these players need to adapt to something, to the stuff, to actually make it work. Yes, it might not work in the short term, but maybe medium to long term, hopefully these guys get it right and it'll work for them. So it's not always going to work straight away either. That's what I would add, like particularly whether it be the gusto and the turnaround, whatever it may be.
But if I understand Ziad's point, Ahmed, it was working. That's what he's saying. He's like,
but the thing is, I think he was
changing it. What happened? And by the way, Cole Palmer was not marked out of the game. You cannot tell me that someone man-marked Cole Palmer in every game in the last 4 or 5 games. That didn't happen.
No.
Charlie was on the
never said he was
the majority of you, I'm not sure who went to the game, but I know that Ziad went to the game. I know Charlie went to the game. I asked both of them the same question. Did Partey follow Cole Palmer? And both of you said no.
No,
they didn't.
No, he didn't.
They didn't.
No, but listen. There's still Maresca is not perfect. There's still criticism of him. I agree in that the substitutions need looking at, especially in Nkunku's one, giving him like 7 minutes to try and do something. Absolutely. The whole performance against Manchester United needs to be questioned, because I don't know what that was. That performance against Manchester United, it was like the Mike Tyson fight this weekend. It was just completely rubbish. The Liverpool one, yeah, we got the old, yeah, you did well, pat on the head, but we still lost. Do you know what I mean? We still lost through the decisions that we made. There's still improvement that needs to be made in this team. That's why I'm glad you did put a question mark on the top and you said, Chelsea back? Because we haven't seen the full results yet of this. What we need now, what we're expecting to, because we didn't know what to expect over the last 4 games, given who we were going to play, how many points we're going to get. Over these ones on paper now coming up, they look fairly easier. I expect more. So if we come after these 6 games and we haven't got the points total that we think we should get, then more questions need to be asked about Maresca and about what he's doing. But
I'll tell you something.
It's still. I think he's changed approaches to these games that were coming up from the start of the season. Absolutely, but I don't think we're in all those games we played badly in them, apart from Man United. That was it.
It's probably the same thing a lot of people are saying with Sanchez, with Enzo Maresca as well. If Enzo Maresca consistently keeps playing Sanchez, and Sanchez is the one that ends up costing us, then you got to look at Enzo Maresca.
Yes, you do. Yeah, I agree.
But for me as well, if we go the next few games and we're playing the same way, and our attackers are not really performing, and Palmer's not performing as well as he should be, or he's usually doing, and Neto's the only one really attacker that's performing, then I've got to ask questions as well.
Well, you can only ask questions. Yeah, I think that the questions become more loud if the results go against him. If we come through it and the results are all plus in his favor, then it's sort of like a sidetrack thing you have to talk about instead of like the full, like, oh, why did you drop points against Leicester, against Southampton, stuff like that? What's happening? You know, that's what it is, and that's what's helping him. I know the last 5 games he haven't won, but it's like I think that's what helped him in the early part of the season where he was getting results. He gets a bit more leeway.
So I want to shift the conversation to a couple of things, but let me do these super chats. Side is still experimental. We had Palmer on the left pocket in the last game, and he didn't win.
Yeah, that's the problem. Yeah, we didn't win, and
but he didn't win.
He didn't play well.
Play good as well, Gav. That's what people don't understand. And also, this thing about experimental thing. Chelsea cannot be going into a season investing in Joao Felix, getting Jadon Sancho, and having Jackson play, and having Neto, and Lavia's back, and you tell me we're experimenting.
Pre-season's experimental time. Pre-season's experimental.
Yeah, Ziad said, what if experimental with Sanchez cost us top 4 on Champions League football next season? Is that going to be acceptable? It won't.
No,
it won't be acceptable. It won't. I think Chelsea have a team that should be ahead of the rest. The fact that the rest are doing bad and not doing well, and Chelsea are on 19 points, that's fine. It looks good. But people don't understand that Chelsea are third because of goal difference. It's not because of points. Chelsea could have been today, if you didn't score 2 more goals against Brighton, you could have been 7th or 6th. Right?
And if Bournemouth had scored their penalty as well.
That would have been the reality. So the conversation would have been, oh, it is fine, we're third. You're third in goal difference. You aren't third because you are better than these guys.
Yeah, that's right. It's what you said at the start. It's what you said at the start. It's like that's an Arsenal Spurs mentality where, oh, we're happy with the team. No, we are pleasantly surprised with the team, but we want to see better. We want to see the results at the end of the season. That's getting into top 4, top 3, whatever it is, getting a trophy and then carrying that on, not accepting it for one season and then not doing it the next season. It's progression. No, it's not process, it's progress. That's what it is. That's what we want. We don't want to sit here and go, we finished 5th, but we played some bloody great football, lads. You know, we played some great football, but we finished 5th. Who cares? Do you know what I mean? I'd rather finish 4th and win 1-0 for the rest of the year. Do you know what I mean? It's all good.
Blaze is saying your rivals are fraud. There are no rivals here on the panels, but fine. You really expected Chelsea to dominate and win all these last 5 games. Nobody said that, but play better. Maresca's first season. By the way, check 5-phase Arteta big games this season. Blaze, you're really measuring stick as Arsenal.
But Arsenal fans are questioning Arteta in these games, though. Arsenal fans are questioning him. That's the whole thing this season. Blaze is very good. He's supports all channels, so big up for your super chat. But that's why Arsenal fans are questioning Arteta. Even in the Big 6 games, they're questioning him. Do you know what I mean?
I don't want ever hear a Chelsea fan telling me, but look at our neighbors. They are in phase 5. Because I was told Chelsea don't work this way.
Yeah,
don't tell me phase 5 or 4. Don't be a fraud now.
Yeah, we shouldn't do phases. We shouldn't do phases.
You're not. Because you're the same Chelsea fans that tell me, Mo, we're not doing phases. We're not in phase 1 or 2 or 3. We don't do that. We're Chelsea Football Club.
Yeah.
Don't do phases, bro. It's not about phases. Here you go, Blaze. This is the season for experimenting. It is his first. So I'm going to ask you a straight question, Blaze. Would you be all right with him experimenting and you get in 6 and Aston Villa and Newcastle finish ahead of you? Would that be all right, though?
No.
Blaze, answer me this, please, Blaze. I know you're an honest Chelsea fan, but with all the investments that happen in this team, with the value of the team, it shouldn't be experimenting, with all due respect, to be honest.
That's what pre-season was for. Pre-season was for experimenting.
With all due respect, Blaze, that's wrong. Papa Peter saying, sorry, Blaze, we can't afford not having Champions League next season. Bro, it might take a couple of games for you to drop out of the Champions League. Ruben, bro, Charlie is the one, and I quote Charlie here. we were on a show and he said, Mo, you can look at it from both aspects. We are only 4 points ahead of terrible Man United, or we're only 4 points behind brilliant Man City. You can look at it from that point. It's up to you how to look at it. You can look at it from both ways, and that's how you should look at it, to be honest. Because I think you fumbled the ball in 2 games, the Forest and the freaking Crystal Palace game. But again, it's recoverable because Arsenal are not doing good, because the people around you are Fulham, Brighton, and Nottingham Forest, all due respect, right? These guys are not going to stay in the race. But I want to move the conversation to the other. The bold fraud is playing Gusto as a 10 and bringing on our tourist players.
Well, it's taken 4 months for the gaffer to be referred to as a bald fraud.
Let me read the super chat. It's playing Gusto as a 10, bringing on our two worst players, Enzo and Mudryk, before Nkunku. If Ziad doesn't perform, can I guys read the super chat? Can I respect the guy, Ahmed?
Sorry, I had the little child Ziad.
You know what, Ahmed? I think you have to read the super chat now.
All right, sure. This bold forward is playing Gusto as a 10 and bringing on our 2 worst players, Enzo, Mudryk in obviously caps before Nkunku. If Palmer doesn't perform, Chelsea don't win.
I just think that narrative's nonsense, because we've won games where Palmer's not played well this season. So it's not. I just think that's a nonsense narrative. And as for like bringing on our 2 worst players, well, Enzo,
can I ask you one question? Have you played good this season when Palmer haven't played? I know the one game you're going to refer to, the Bournemouth game, but you were saved by a penalty, not scored.
No.
But can you clarify? I need one game when Palmer didn't play well.
West Ham away. I know he scored, but he didn't really do much. We took him off after an hour, and like we comfortably won that game. I don't.
All the Conference League games.
All the Conference League games. Yeah, Noah. 8 of the best.
I'm joking because he's not even in the squad. He's not even in the squad.
Yeah. No, but in terms of like, look, Mudryk is not done as amazing as we all wanted him to do, but I think it's very disingenuous and unfair to say that he's not made improvements recently, and he is being trusted by Maresca for the improved performances that he's put in. Is he perfect? No. Is there still lots of room for improvement? Yes, but he's being rewarded for playing well in the opportunities that he's been given. And it's not like you're choosing Enzo or Mudryk instead of Nkunku. It's not like, we're putting either of those players on instead of Jackson or instead of whoever. I could understand that if they were coming on to play in Nkunku's position instead of him, but they're not. So it's a completely irrelevant point that's being made there.
I'll be real.
And Enzo came on and got
the Mudryk point. I think the Mudryk being the worst player, I don't think he's been our worst.
I'm actually going to get into the wingers position now. We're going to talk about the Madueke.
By the way, Mudryk should be starting on Saturday, by the way.
We're going to talk about the wingers now, because
I'm not too sure on that one.
I have a very interesting...
Forget about Sancho, bro.
No,
I don't care if he hasn't played. I don't care, bro.
He's not played for a month.
Mudryk's not starting, bro.
I hate the point about Sanchez. I hate the point about Sanchez not starting.
It's probably going to be Neto and Madueke starting.
Yeah, it's still be Neto and Madueke still.
It will be, but it should be Mudryk and Neto.
I'm going to have this conversation. Can I do this couple of super chats? Pre-season doesn't count. We didn't have new players from injuries on international, plus an awful schedule. So he couldn't experiment in... But let me just tell you something, Gav. In the preseason, you actually... Every time I watch Chelsea in preseason, there is a way of playing that I said, okay, I can get behind this. I can get behind this. There was a footprint that I can get behind. Lately, it has been turning into, let's experiment something. Let's try something different. Let's try different things. It wasn't broken. Yeah, and that's what I don't understand, to be honest, Gav. So preseason is fun. It's fine. I think preseason was good. It was a good experiment. But I think lately he has been experimenting a lot lately, to be honest, which is, I don't understand why.
Fatur in the bigger games as well. That's experiments in the bigger games, which I found a bit weirder and not like the previous games.
It started with that Liverpool game, didn't it? When Lavia first came back. That's when it really started.
That's not an experiment, though. That's not an experiment. You probably
That's not an experiment. Lavia came in and we played completely different football.
Lavia's
No,
not an
because-
experiment. Like, he probably wanted to start Lavia to
Look, you
begin
start
with.
Lavia.
No, but the
you wanna
point is,
be
we
defensive.
came in and we
Like,
completely
I
different
don't know,
football.
Ziad, what to tell you,
No,
bro.
of course, it's experiment if you completely change up the tactics. Of course, it is. What the hell? Bring in Lavia, I completely change the way we played.
How can we be calling replacing one midfielder with another an experiment? It's not. It's
Well,
just
I mean, the way we played
personnel.
was completely different, so it must have been an experiment.
Well, it's not an experiment though. It's just
not
it's.
experiment.
But it's that.
Well, I
that's
mean,
the
he changes
equivalent-
Everyone would be putting Mudryk at right back.
That's the equivalent of saying, right? Oh, that's the equivalent of saying, let's replace, I don't know,
But I just want 6
Madueke
goals
with
again,
Sanchez.
man.
Oh, it's an experiment. Like it's they're like for, it's not like for like, but it's one midfielder for another. Yeah, slightly different. It's not an experiment.
One's a bit more different.
It's
One's a
called
bit more
one,
defensive
though.
than the other. That's literally it. One is a bit more of a destroyer type, and the other one's a bit more of a deep lying playmaker. That's literally the difference between them both. That's all.
No, that's what my
literally was.
Chelsea back, man.
Can I respond?
Oh, shut up, man. Piss off.
This guy, yeah, get out of here,
Let
man.
me respond
I
to
want
Fatur
Palmer
before
back,
we go
man.
to
Where's
the
Palmer
wingers.
gone, man?
Let me just respond. Thank you, Fatur, for this. Appreciate you. Sanchez is a good shot stopper. I agree, but he's terrible playing from the back. Let me just tell you something, Fatur. And I'm going to give you a stat, right? Sanchez attempted more passes than David Raya and had a better pass completion than David Raya. More distance.
Pass completions is nonsense. That can just be little short passes. Like all of us could do that.
Do you know how far behind he is in terms of long passes completed? Behind David Raya, 3%. 3%.
Yeah, but Mo, we're doing the eye test. All of us know that he's shit and he shouldn't be Chelsea.
I don't think he's shit. I think he has mistakes and he's not composed. And by the way, I'm going to tell you something. David Raya used to make mistakes. I'm not going to go into this. I just had this discussion on the football terrace. All I have to tell you is that Robert Sanchez has abilities. He can pass the ball and he can shot stop. The problem with him is that he just makes mistakes. And I think that can be taught because I saw Onana at Inter change completely within a season in terms of mistakes and being composed on the ball. Have we seen Sanchez not do it? I don't know. Is there another goalkeeper around in the world that you can bring that is better than him? Yes. Is it going to cost you an arm and a leg? Also, yes. Also, yes. So, is that a priority?
I think
who's the standard then? People think that Ederson is the standard. No, Ederson is not the standard. But my problem with Fatur, my problem
than Sanchez.
You can. It's just going to cost you a lot of money. Lot.
No, it's not. No, it's not. I actually do not believe it will cost. You know the same amount of money you bought for Jorgensen. If you had this literally Jorgensen. Jorgensen. That's why I'm using him specifically. We could have gotten someone literally, as in like the goalkeeper from Lille, Chevalier or Walker. And I tell you what, our team would be massively upgrading the goalkeeping position.
All right, then. If you guys think so, it's fine.
For me, my issue with with what's been happening, also in the goalkeeping department, is that I don't understand what the scouting is. Like if you scouted the goalkeepers, like when we were going for Jorgensen, those two guys are much better than him overall.
Mamarchvili, I don't understand why you didn't go for Mamarchvili.
I don't know. The thing is,
I heard because they didn't rate his distributions.
Yes, that's why. So for me, the thing is,
passing, that's what I heard. That's what I don't care. I don't care. It's like I think he would. You could teach him that more than you could teach Sanchez not to be a bozo like those 2 goals he conceded against Brighton.
You really think you can teach someone passing more than just having someone being more composed?
Well, I think Sanchez's distribution is very overrated. By the way, I don't think it's
not that good.
Okay. No, I said it's fairly overrated. I think it's average. I don't think it's up there like with the best. You know what I mean? But Mo, that does. I just think he's gonna. That sometimes his distribution is not even the big thing for him. I think he's cost us legitimately 6 goals this season. It's his decision, like against Man United, to come out and foul Højlund when Højlund was going the opposite way. Do you know what I mean? It's that. It's that mode. It's that that separates the best goalkeepers from the mediocre ones. You know what I mean? I never judge a goalkeeper on shot stopping because I think they should always be good at shot stopping if they're a goalkeeper. It's the decisions like that first Brighton goal. The first one to come all the way out, even the game.
And you know what the issue is?
I think his decision making is not great, and I agree with you. Completely agree with you.
Yeah, because he had. Listen, to be fair to him, he had an amazing game against Bournemouth. Right, he had an amazing game against Bournemouth. That looks like an aberration. He had good goodish game against Forest, but I do remember one of those saves. One of those saves which he got saved of the month for. He actually kicked the ball to a Forest player.
Can I say something? You would have been 10th if it wasn't for Sanchez in these 2 games. 10th.
I agree. That's what I'm saying.
10th.
He's played well, but he's also cost us, which we have. But the problem is, it's only really cost us in the last. Hang on. It's only really cost us in the last 2 or so games. That penalty against Man United, and Arsenal. I thought it was, and against Liverpool that second goal because I thought he should come out fast.
Near post to Arsenal,
or made himself bigger at least. And you know what I mean. So
let me do this. Ahmed, go ahead, Ahmed, because I wanna move on to the wingers
because my issue. But I feel like again, what we're just saying right now is that it's a balancing act. He may have saved us a few points against Bournemouth and everything like that, but then he's cost us points in those other games. So therefore, he's essentially doing a balancing act. And at Chelsea, again, guys, we're going to be under a lot.
That's on Maresca. That's on Maresca as well. That's on Maresca. If he doesn't improve, him and his coaching staff, and they keep picking him, and he costs us further down the line. That's on Maresca, and that's where you will. That's one of the big things you will have to question Maresca for.
Exactly.
Keeping on picking him. That's what you will.
But the problem is, I'll be honest, Jorgensen is not filling with any hope either. Like I'll be honest, I'm not moved by Jorgensen, but that's just
my point is that we're being too reactionary considering the oppositions. Top 4 isn't a title race. 60 points get you 60 points get you top 4. Will be fine without a lot of the little games. It depends, Blaze. It depends. Because the other teams are doing all right as well, Blaze. So that is not guaranteed top 4. I would back Chelsea to go top 4, but also want consistency. If I'm a Chelsea fan, I would ask for consistency in terms of at least the way you play. Blaze is saying we're going to beat Leicester and watch title race talk again. Does anybody... some Chelsea fans are going to start talking about...
Ziad's going to be fast. Ziad's going to start saying that, man.
Okay, let me just tell you something. If Chelsea beat Leicester and Manchester City lose against Spurs, title race talks are going to be there. I promise you this.
No, of course they are, but it doesn't mean anything.
No, they're not, because Liverpool are going to smash Southampton, so it's not. It won't be there. No.
I think
any Chelsea fan talking about title race needs a slap. Do you know what I mean? Any of you need a slap.
Yeah. Well, guys, we're 13 likes away from 200. Hit that like, guys. 200 likes is the first target now. 200 likes. We got over 450 people in the house. And you guys are not hitting the like button. Come on, don't be cheap. Hit that like button, people. It's free. Fatur, stats about Sanchez is nonsense. 80% of the games we had this season, the goals that we conceded are mostly Sanchez's error, which is what Ahmed said. I mean, it balances itself out. That the mistakes he makes.
But any mistakes. But the thing is, though, Mo, like anything Sanchez does well is forgotten about because of the caliber of the mistakes that he makes are so costly. No one remembers anything good that he does because of how big the mistakes he makes are. So, like the saves that he's made are cancelled out by those mistakes. And until he stops,
like those goals against Brighton aren't remembered because Palmer scored 4 goals in the first half.
One, yeah, exactly.
Those goals aren't remembered, right? It didn't cost us anything. Like
first goal, oh my. I think it was the first Brighton goal. I was like, oh my God.
You want to talk about the wingers, Mario? You want to talk about the wingers?
Yeah, just let me do this. David here is saying, thank you, Fatur. I hear what Ziad is saying. When Lavia came back and there was no need to invert fullbacks in the pivot because Maresca wants the advantage in the midfield. That's what everyone is saying, David. That there was no need to invert. The tactics should change when Lavia's back in the team because you don't need another midfielder.
You don't need to invert because him and Caicedo can cover the ground. You don't need.
I'm going to tell you guys something. You know, the inverting thing took away not only from Palmer, from Madueke as well, because he has an extra guy. It took away from him, to be honest. And those are the wingers. Madueke. The Madueke one is so interesting though, because I like Madueke. I think he's good. He's positive. He's direct. But a lot of Chelsea fans lately have been saying drop Madueke out of the play Neto right, play Mudryk or Sancho on the left. Does anybody agree with this?
I think you can make a case for it. Like Madueke started every game this season except the first game of the season against Man City. It's also fair to say that his performances have dropped off over the past few weeks. There's no denying that. Maresca obviously likes him. He's got good attributes for the team, but I think, you know, with his performances dropping off, with the other options we've got there, and other players, in fairness, doing more than him in recent weeks, then it probably is a time over the next few games where he probably should be on the bench for a few of them, and other players should be given a chance. We all know that we all agree that Neto should be starting. So it's now one of whether it's Sancho or Mudryk on that left-hand side. And for me, right now, given the fact that Sancho's not played for us for a month for various reasons, I think Mudryk deserves a chance. It should be Mudryk and Neto on Saturday. But in terms of Madueke, he's going to contribute this season and he'll be an important player. But because the performances have dropped off a little bit in recent weeks, I think it's very fair to say that someone else should be given an opportunity.
But Mudryk will not work against Leicester when you have all the ball.
Depends. But what I would say is that I think with Madueke, I think he's been doing a lot of work defensively because because of like Gusto being a bit poor, I'll be honest, defensively himself this season. But like I think my issue with Madueke, I've always said before, is that he's great going forward, he's great at dribbling. It's just sometimes his decision making has been letting him down quite a bit. He will overhit the cross sometimes, underhit the cross. That's what's the issue right now, Madueke. And I think if you can see him on bench, that will be perfect. I think Mudryk starting, does he deserve to start? Technically, on the way his form is and everything from what he's done in the Conference League, I would say yes.
Yeah, but Ziad wants to protect his boy Sancho because he wants to score one against Man United.
But you haven't let me finish on Mudryk. But the problem is, whenever I've seen him in the league, barring that Nottingham Forest cameo, he's looking a bit like the same old Mudryk.
Man,
you know what I mean?
starting,
That's my thing. You know what I mean? He's looking like the same old Mudryk. He's looking like the same old Mudryk whenever I see him in the league, barring Nottingham Forest. So for me, I'm very, very hesitant.
Can I ask you something? What is more important for Chelsea, for Mudryk to work or Sancho to work?
Sancho.
Fuck
Sancho. Yeah, I feel like. Oh wow, that's crazy.
I would say, given the investment of money, it's more important that Mudryk works because Sancho.
Thank you, Charlie.
Like,
Charlie.
You can easily make a profit on him in a couple of years' time. It's more important for Mudryk to work out than it is for Sancho because Sancho's a low.
You know what?
Charlie,
I was thinking the same. I was thinking the same, Charlie. That Mudryk has to work. Sancho. But if it doesn't work, it doesn't work.
No, I want Sancho to work more than Mudryk, but Mudryk has to work more.
Yeah, Mudryk for Chelsea, it's more important that Mudryk works than Sancho does.
I have no faith in Mudryk working at all, so I don't care. You know, he's just useless.
I feel like Mudryk is improving, but I just don't see it. I don't see him working.
Well, he's reached the levels of Conference League. Congratulations for him.
He found his levels.
If I'm going in the Premier League, and if you finally take on his man,
Conference League against Servette and stuff like that.
He can't take on his man the league.
Listen, going on the wingers, I think Madueke's been fortunate that he started the last because of the illness to Sancho and the not wanting to play Mudryk and stuff like that. But everyone, like, I heard what he said about his defensive side, but I've seen Neto do the defensive side last, especially against Arsenal. He's done it on both wings. He's done it on both wings on a yellow card and stuff like that. I think Madueke and Neto, though, will start on Saturday due to the fact that Sancho's only just coming back from an illness and stuff like that. So we've known that Maresca's not really.
Who's your best two wingers, in your opinion?
Neto and Sancho.
I'd like to see Sancho and Neto. I'd like to see that.
You guys really think that Jadon Sancho currently is better than Madueke?
Yes.
No, I don't think he is. Not in terms of current.
What is that based on? What is that based on?
It's not based on anything because Sancho was crap against Liverpool, right? And he was subbed at half time in that game. Hasn't played since. So we're basing that on his appearance. So that essentially, and correct me if I'm wrong, that's being based on the performance against Bournemouth, the performance against West Ham, and the performance against Brighton, where he got 3 assists in 3 games. He didn't against Forest. He started that game as well. He wasn't terrible, but he wasn't great either. So we're basing it on what 3 games that he's better than Madueke right now. Has Sancho got more talent and more ability than Madueke? Yes. Is he a better player than Madueke when they're both playing their best? Yes, but Sancho is not at his best level right now and doesn't have that consistency. So we're saying
the thing is, I don't think we should. They're not in competition with each other.
No, they're not.
So it's like they play opposite wings, so there'll never be a Madueke.
I think indirectly they are, Surfer.
Really?
I think indirectly they are. Yes, but I think indirectly they are. If Madueke is playing good, I think your starting left wing will always be Neto.
Yeah.
If Madueke is not playing well, Neto will be playing right and Sancho would start. Okay. So I think indirectly, these are the two, in my opinion, your best winger is Pedro Neto. We all agree this.
Yeah.
I think for the second place, and because Neto can play both sides, that people that actually challenge and compete for the second spot is Sancho and Madueke. So I think they are actually competing for a spot in the
And
team.
I think Sancho but for me, Sancho's now got to do it all again. He's got to prove himself again.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? He's got to get into the team again and do the performances, because Madueke will do a job for you defensively. And like you said, we've said it in the previous on this podcast right now. Palmer not being with Madueke might be affecting how Madueke is slightly playing, because we see him all alone on the right hand side, you know, with Gusto inverting and stuff like that. It might be this different way we're playing is affecting Madueke. You know what I mean, in terms of attacking and stuff like that. So if we go back to where we see Palmer mostly play floating in the middle or to the right, we might see a different Madueke and stuff like that. But Sancho, for me, has got it all to do. He's got to earn his place back in the team, because Neto is the first name as a winger for this team. There's no doubt about it, whether it's right or left. And he's proved that over the last month or so. And that's what Maresca, one of many things Maresca's done well with is.
What do you think, guys, is going to happen when Esteval Williams comes into the team? Someone has to be sold. Right?
Madueke welcome to Newcastle. That's what's probably going to happen. I'll be honest. Madueke probably is on the chopping block next season. I think.
No. If you remember when we were linked to Elise, all summer. Madueke's name was the one being even a swap deal to Palace. It was being rumored to go as part of the deal for Elise.
What if he plays? What if he plays well? Would it? Okay,
I wouldn't listen.
Okay, can I ask you guys something? So if he plays well, and Sancho has not gotten into the team and keeps getting, because I believe Sancho, I don't know if he's ill or not ill, whatever that is, right? Sancho has not played. He had done this at Man United before. Would you be opposing of selling Jadon Sancho for like 30 million and get a profit to Germany?
I'm not opposed to selling anyone who the manager doesn't want or is not playing well. I'm not opposed to it. So if we have to pay 25 million for him, because obviously we're going to finish above 14th, you know, stuff like that.
Yeah, what I'm saying is that if we start our best attackers, it would be Neto and Sancho. I think they would be our best wingers right now.
Again, it just depends, as I said before. If the players aren't playing well and we've lost hope in them, time to move on, isn't it? You can.
But the thing is, this
got the money to get better players too.
But we should be thinking about, if these options are paying off, that we don't need to rush Esteval into any sort of opportunity. Do you know what I mean?
Why should be coming in?
He should be coming in, settling in. He's coming to a new continent with his family, not just his new country. Settle in and then build up his minutes. That's what it should be.
2 to 3 seasons, probably. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, is that
I don't know, at least the first season, definitely. Do you know what I mean?
Even send him on loan in Europe somewhere if needed. Why is there such a rush to get him integrated into the first team? What's the rush?
YouTube videos.
Maybe even give him the Strasbourg treatment with Andre Santos, where you can clearly see Santos actually improving. You know what I mean? I
thought Esteval Williams is a superstar. He's going to come in, start right away on that right side.
Maybe he will. But if
Charlie, I am literally repeating what I'm hearing. It's not.
I'm not. It's definitely been said. But there's no need to put him straight in the team. What's the rush?
Probably give him the Phil Foden treatment, man. I'll be honest. You probably should give him the Phil Foden treatment, where he gets gets himself built up. In my personal opinion, too.
But what it should be is not having what we did with Palmer last season. Everything relying on, and you've got to get this kid in right away. Unless he absolutely smashed it. Because remember, everyone was like high on Savinho at the start of the season. Now Savinho's sort of like, you know what I mean, Mo? It's like I think he's played too much.
Even Doku the season before. Even Doku the season before.
We've seen this before, right? You start off a bit and then they low down, and then sometimes we don't see him again. But you know,
I agree. I'm not sure what's going to happen. But listen, the last part, the last thing, I want you guys to. Should third be your target or only Champions League football? Or does it depend on how the season goes?
What's the difference between third and fourth? Can I just be honest? What's the difference?
I'm going to tell you the difference between third and fourth. Third, and also I think
20 million.
From third, you can go and challenge next season. From fourth, you'll be like, yeah, I want to go close to the top.
Arsenal challenged from fifth, though.
Yeah.
Do you think you can do that?
Why not?
Why not?
I'm not saying we will, but why couldn't we?
No, I don't see you doing what Arsenal did 2 seasons ago, to be honest, with having 50 points out of 58, 59 or something
No, I'm not saying they're going to do that, but it is.
I don't see you doing that, to be honest.
It is possible to challenge having finished in fifth, for example. It is possible. I'm not saying we're going to do it. I'm just saying it is possible.
Yeah.
I think it's how far we're off it, right? If we're finishing fourth, you want to be a comfortable fourth, not a last few games scraping fourth. Do you know what I mean? Third, you want to be obviously close to second and fourth. That's what it is. So I think we should listen. I think with the way Arsenal are playing, we don't know how to third. You know, thirds. If you're looking at fourth and you're playing well, if we get the results, then yeah, your expectations change during the season, right? You get closer. You get closer to the end. If you're close, if you're really in the top four, and you're cementing, we separate ourselves. Aim for third. Why not? Why settle for fourth? Go get third. And then the important thing, Mo, is then how do you build on that the next summer?
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Striker, centre back, goalkeeper, and then go from there. Do you know what I mean?
Osimhen in January. I really want to see Osimhen at Chelsea in January.
Not going to happen.
No, thank you. No, thank you.
You don't want Osimhen?
No, I'm done. One, it's not going to happen in January, and two, I'm done with it. It was the summer or not at all for me. Yeah. It's time to forget him.
All right, then we'll see how it goes. But listen, people, Charlie's channel is in the description. How far are you from? What is your next target, Charlie?
Next target probably 13 and a half. I think about 110 or something away.
Yeah, guys, go and subscribe to Charlie's channel. It is pinned in the description of this show. The Bridge Nation. What you got coming up, first of all, Charlie? What do you got coming up? You got something today, tomorrow?
No, I've done a little video on the channel today, just rounding up a few bits of Chelsea news. But then, yeah, tomorrow we got opposition preview of Leicester Fan TV, and I'll be live myself as well, chatting about the game and all those sorts of things. So, yeah, make sure you subscribe and stay locked in.
Yes. Ahmed, Bridge Nation. What do you got coming up?
Obviously the preview is going to be available for you guys to watch on Friday. I might be having something a little bit different, still football related, but it's a little bit, a bit something a bit more out of my comfort zone that you guys might enjoy. So
all right. And Winter Surfer Twitter account is in the description as well. You can just copy and paste it and follow him.
L takes, man.
And this show is going to take you to Ziad. This show is going to take you to Ziad's zone. It's going to take you to a show. He's about to start the show, so go and support my guy Ziad on his channel. Challenge him on that. I want to thank everyone that tuned in. We reached our target of 200 likes. If you can get us to 250, that would be fantastic. I want to thank every super chatter, every subscriber, turn on the notification bell. And tonight we have a Liverpool show only at 10 p.m. UK time, guys. With only Liverpool people. We've done Arsenal, we've done Chelsea now. We're gonna do Liverpool, and we're gonna do Manchester City.
Can I make one request, Mo, of you for the Liverpool fans?
Yeah.
Do not let them do the underdog story, please. Do not let them do it.
Wait. I want you to text me once you see the show go live and see the thumbnail, though. Guys, I'm not going to keep you for long. Go to Ziad and support Zizo, and we'll see you guys soon. And we're out of here, people.